Wow, that conversation with Salma Moosa was such a long one and such an enriched one that we had to break it down in two parts. Last to last week, you would have seen the first part of the conversation when she talks about how did she turn from a kid with a hole in the heart to a 17-year-old bride and what were the challenges that she was going through. In this part, she is going to talk about what did she actually do to get rid of those challenges, those barriers, those glass ceilings in her life, and how she became the business mentor of Bangalore, who is known by everyone in the startup world. So, if you want to know more, her ways to deal with her glass ceilings, come right in. Let's join the rest of the conversation. And don't forget to watch the first part, which was launched 2 weeks back, episode 3, part 2. Let's get inside. And what about the professional one that you were talking about?
And just FYI, on the personal side, it is natural for us to have that ceiling, Srijata. You've had it, I've had it. We all, I've messed my children's life with my mistakes. So we've done it all. But that doesn't mean you sit today and say, oh, wow, I heard Salma say this today. So, but I've already messed my children's life. Trust me, Salma's messed in so many levels. If we compete, I'll always win. So trust me on that. So it's not about what you've done to mess up. It's what you would do to unmess up from here. That matters.
True.
So that's how it all goes. Professionally, again, very specific to being women in business or in the corporate world. As we know that we come with the baggages of three things. One is men around us believe, the good men believe that they have to take care of us. The not so good men believe that we are not fit to do great things. We have to break both those ceilings in the corporate world because, like it or not, the corporate world is first crowded with men and semi crowded by women. I hope that one day, till I'm alive, I see the time when it's crowded by women and less crowded by men. I hope I see advertisements where the man is cooking and taking care of the house because which is equally his responsibility. And the woman comes home to sit down and have a glass of whiskey and, ask what's for dinner. But we are not in that world yet, at least not here in India. So it's okay. Let's be happy in the world we are in. And let's break our own ceilings of this because when my previous firm failed, and it failed miserably, 2019, though it was a collective failure, today I can tell you this, that firm had 60 plus team members, employees. It had 16 investors. It had, around thousands of customers. It had everything going for itself. But collectively, everyone did X number of things wrong, unknowingly, that it failed. But the last woman standing got the medals for its failure. Because Salma
Always like that. It is always like that, Salma. I mean, I have to tell you this. Even when my startup failed, the same thing happened. There were many people, there were many wrong decisions taken. Some were, of course, taken by me and some by others. But at the end of the day, the blame of the failure came on me, saying that you are the one who could not take this right decisions. So it's fine. Graciously accept those medals.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
and add to it, they blend in beautifully by saying women are emotional, women don't prioritize business, women get carried away, women do not know to restrict people from doing wrongs, women are bad people management, women are this, women are that, and we are women, right? So, if we get into that, and that glass ceiling covers us. And there comes a time when you stand and tell yourself that you are responsible. Breaking that takes you to be a Wonder Woman. you will have to have those powers, the superhuman powers to break it out. But when you do, one thing, I've learned the power of sorry, Srijata. Earlier, I would say a lot of thank you, a lot of gratitude. Now I've learned to say sorry with such pride because sorry detaches us from anything. So the moment we start saying, sorry, I am emotional. Sorry, we all did mistakes. Sorry, but yeah, we fucked up. Sorry, this is how it's going to be. The moment you say the word sorry, you detach yourself enough to stand by yourself and do what you have to do. And that's what my counselor, my mental wellness coach, my fitness coach, my mind, my heart, my soul, my complete transformation, which has happened in the last 2 years, did is that I learned to say sorry and move on, not be attached to it.
True. Very, very true.
So, love the voice or the noise of your footsteps when you walk away from your mistakes, from your past, from your challenges, but walk away by saying sorry and having a smile on your face. That's what I would say.
What a lovely thought there. Listeners, please take note of this. How do you walk away from your mistakes? How do you choose to walk away from your mistakes? And that too gracefully, like the Salma Moosa way. That's the way I would say that this is the best way to move away from your mistakes. Take accountability, yet do not get attached to that accountability. Say sorry, but do not get accounted for, or do not get completely bogged down by it. Yes, everybody makes mistakes, and I have never found a person, or anyone for that matter, any living being, have never made a mistake.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's how it is. Mistakes are part of our life, like how we breathe. So it's okay to make mistake. It's okay to go through a challenge. It's okay to fail, as long as you do not get sucked into that failure. Right? Super.
And also, we get, we say we walk away. And our minded viewers, thanks to Srijata, I'm able to connect to you guys. It's very easy to tell what I'm telling you. You can Google about this. Failure is a part of life, and you'll get all that. But when you actually do it, your heart bleeds. Every ounce of you would feel as if there's a dagger running through you and you're being cut into pieces. Every minute you would hope that something, someone, somewhere, the earth opens out and you just disappear from that moment. It's okay. Please give this to yourself. It's okay to be in pain. Being in pain means you're alive. Because if you do not feel the pain, then you're dead. And being alive is the best gift from the universe to us. Especially in these times, the COVID times, we have learned the meaning of life. So feel the pain and take that step away and do not carry hatred. I don't hate anyone, because hating is not for about somebody else. Hate is about you, what you have in your heart. When you hate somebody, you are hurting yourself more than the other person. So say sorry, detach, and walk away with smile. That's my funda. That's what I do. And I know it's not easy, but I know you can do it too.
Amazing. Now I'm going to move to the next question here, Salma, and that is around you've lived an incredible life. Why I say incredible life? Because it had lots of ups and downs and a lot of nuances, like a probably a a Hollywood or a Bollywood blockbuster. Your life can be made into an amazing film as well, I'm sure. Right now, in this life, you would have helped someone, some other leader, break their glass ceiling. Do you remember any such incident like that?
Hmm. So right now, as we speak, Srijata, I'm I'm kind of, I would not say help, because when you are guiding someone, in fact, indirectly you're helping yourself, right? You will walk out of a mentoring session feeling lighthearted and motivated and inspired because you were able to guide someone in that direction, right? So, right now, I do not use the word help because they are helping me more with each thing, right? I would rather say guidance. When I guide someone and they are able to step out of their comfort zone, right now, that experience, that activity, I can absolutely confidently say that I'm doing with at least a few tens of entrepreneurs and leaders. Not many with women. I'll be very candid with you. I would love to help women, but somewhere something goes wrong because I don't think women kind of relate with me that much because I kind of pull them out of their comfort zone. So there are very like I could count on my fingers, women who have helped me and I have helped them. And I can shout out their names. They are like my alpha females around my pact, as you say, who kind of stick by me and, I have their back and they have my back kind of thing. But a lot more men. And I am able to do that. And I can hear them say that the gratitude and the love that they have for me. But if you want any specific example, I'd love to give without taking names.
Sure, sure. Go ahead. Give us a quick example.
So when my venture failed and I started this new venture, Startup Squares, and a few entrepreneurs who knew me from the past, who knew how badly I had failed, still stuck around and signed up with this new entity, paid and became my clients. One of them had literally was in that same place where I was 1 year back. Like my venture had failed and had stepped out trying to sort matters, but his venture was failing. His group of people, his investors, his pact was making those mistakes in this very moment when he came in contact with me. And I remember the first call, he said, I want to shut this company down because I don't see any outcome here. My fear is if I do that, people would not leave me. What do I do? Do I shut it or do I not shut it? What do I do, Salma? And for your information, he had seen one of my Facebook posts where one of my ex employees, who later on my personal level, I settled their last month's salary, but that time because we had fired them, had gone on Facebook and tagged me and said, this lady should be arrested. She's a cheater. She cheated us of our salary and she's this and that. And they had abused me on Facebook. And I had shared that post myself. And I had added on over there from a founder's side how difficult it is when we see that we are going through a rough patch and we see such posts. So this person had seen that post of mine and reached out to me. So for me, the very first thing to help him break his glass ceiling of being caught in that net of mistakes and others mistakes and blaming ourselves and nothing will ever recover kind of state of mind, the first thing was for me to get inside there. Many time what people do is they stand outside the glass ceiling and they tell the person who's inside the glass ceiling to break free. It doesn't work that way. You'd have to go in. And to go in, you'd have to scrape yourself a little bit, hurt yourself, bruise yourself a little bit. So I did that. I told him my story. I cried. I genuinely gave him all that which I went through to the suicide point to where I am. And I said, I don't want you to be in that place. I can help you. Take me in. The moment I was pulled in to an extent where he could tell even from his family tension to, everything what he's going through, that's when the first journey happened. The next thing what a guide or a mentor or anyone can do is attach yourself so close to them that you become their shield, because you're used to this pain. You've passed through this. That hurt when you break that glass ceiling, the bruises that happen, you had that. It's not going to be something new. But for them, it's going to be new. So you shield them. And how do you do that? You say anything, any decision, anything which comes to you, it's got to pass through me. So if your family calls you up and says they need money, or they want to throw you out of the house, you can come live with me. If they want money, I can share some resources with you, or this or that. You take their challenge as yours. Now I am 100% sure all mentors out there will say, dude, I'm in this career, I can't get in there. I understand, I respect you guys, but if you're going to help somebody break the ceiling, then that this is the only way to do it, at least the way I know. That's when you do that. The moment you give them that 2 3 decision support, that it's not their decision that went wrong, that their mentor did it, but it was okay to go through it. They are like those toddlers. Once they fall, they get up and they run.
Yeah.
Then you will see them crash through the ceiling. And today, the same entrepreneur, I'm so proud to say, is granted an award. He has cleared all his dues, he has bought out his investors. Unlike me, where I shut my company down when I failed, I'm so proud of my mentee who is now rectified the company and he's growing it. So that's one big example.
Amazing. That's the right example of a setback leadership here, I would say, because even though you had the setbacks and you probably couldn't pass through them towards a success, your learnings helped somebody else create that success for him, and that's actually your success,
Absolutely.
isn't it? And that's the best part of being in a challenge, going through it with a strong heart, a brave heart, and then coming out of it with a lot of learnings and helping others go through it much more peacefully. Nothing better than that, honestly.
Absolutely. I'm blessed to be gone through all that I went through, because today I know that many out there, at least a few out there, are getting a lot more help, which I can be. It's made me a better person, better mentor, better woman, better mother, better in every way.
Lovely, lovely. So we are in the almost towards the last part of the interview, and I'm going to ask you three quick questions. And the first one is around, what do you think should leaders of today do to break their different kinds of glass ceilings?
Okay. And this is men, women, everyone, right? Because I
Everyone,
like to
everyone, just leaders. Yeah, yeah.
So, as leaders, the first thing, what I would, from my perspective, what I would put across is to always connect with yourself. Please understand this. As a leader, you have gone through X number of things to reach and become a leader. Like the day you get an appointment letter that you are a CEO or a CFO or a VP of any company, the first thing what you do is to tap on your back and say, way to go, because you've reached there. And from that minute, be connected, be rooted to yourself. Please understand, as a leader, what you're going to build, part, and associate with any business aspect of it should be the authentic you. And you cannot find your authentic self unless and until you are connected to yourself, to the roots. It's very easy for us to get carried away. Please understand, especially when you've reached a journey where you traveled all the way, you worked yourself up from the lowest base position and reached to the leadership role. It's very easy that there are layers and layers of things that are piled on you and your mind and your heart, and you've become a place where you've come to a space. The moment you're in that leadership role, you say, oh my God, I have to do XYZ, and there are RNRs, and there are a lot of tasks to be done, a lot of appointments, meetings, all that. It's kind of filling your calendar. I request
Right.
you, tool one, always have at least the morning 2 hours, 3 hours for yourself. That's why I'm sure you've read many of the leaders wake up at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, is because they need that time to be connected to themselves. That's the first, because the moment you know yourself, you'll break any ceiling with it that you have to. So, tool number two, again, is in regards to being aware of your limitations and your freedom. There are times when, as a leader, the moment you get into the leadership role, you think that you have to go all the way. The last mile needs to be traveled by you. You need to go about and do everything. You don't need to. You don't need to. If you need to draw the line, you can still draw a line. You can still say no to things. I've heard such horror stories, Srijata, I have to tell you this, women in leadership roles, right? Who have gone about and, had experiences that were really nasty because they just couldn't say no to their other colleagues, or in an environment of a leadership environment and things like that. So no, you can. And even for men, it's happened that way. Many a times men get carried away saying, I'm supposed to be doing that, right? There's nothing like that. The reason you're the leader is because you get to choose what you can and what you cannot. So don't forget that. So you draw your lines, you have your limitations, freedoms set, your boundaries set clearly, because you are the leader. Acknowledge that. So that's the second thing. And the last but not the least, very, very critical. For breaking any kind of glass ceilings, you need your mental strength. And for heading any leadership role, your mental stress is at its peak. So do not think you are equipped by yourself to handle your mental wellness. Do not think that just because your spouse or your boyfriend or a girlfriend or your best friend, BFFs, they are good people, and they can help you recover, or find your good mind space. They can never do that. They can give you a feel good factor. When you hang around with them, when you share with them, you feel good, you feel light. But that's not your mental wellness in a fit space. That's just a feel good factor. So, as a leader, make sure you spend some quality time for your mental wellness. If it's simple meditation or a yoga, or even signing up with a mental wellness coach, it's very important. I'm not a mental wellness coach, so don't think I'm trying to promote my services, but I'm just saying that you need to have a professional support. That's why most of the leaders have their own support system, who are not their relatives, friends, colleagues. No, their external support system, maybe a fitness coach or a yoga coach or a mental wellness coach. That's very critical. And for companies, Srijata, this I really have started pushing companies when I work with them. They really under budget the need for the leadership coaching and training and support systems. They think, oh, those so and so leader is well experienced. He or she can handle the stress which comes. I would not say that. Now are not the times for it. So have your mental space strong.
Super, super. I think I'd just like to say one thing here around seeking support from professional people. And I would just say that if footballers, if players, if athletes, if any sports star can have a mentor, not only for their physical fitness but for their mental fitness, if celebrities, if celebrities or even politicians can have their coaches or the people who are their backbones, who are keeping them sane in their work, what's stopping leaders from having their coach or mentor or a guide who can really take them to a fewer notch higher? Right? So there is no shame in having a coach, or there is no shame in seeking guidance. All of us has sought guidance. Salma has sought guidance. I have sought guidance from different mentors and coaches at different point of in my life. So it's good to actually seek support from professionals, because they know how to guide you in the right direction with the right mindset. So go ahead, seek that support.
Absolutely. We are like doctors, as simple as.
Yes, yes, yes. Now the last two questions. The last question I'm going to ask you, the last but one question that I'm going to ask you here is, uh, what are your three final tips for anyone who's going through challenges at this point in time to break different kinds of either glass ceilings or some other setback due to corona, due to COVID situation or pandemic situation or anything for that matter? What would be the three things they can right away do to ease themselves up slightly?
Step three steps back. The first thing is step three steps back from the moment. Any challenge that you're going through, please understand that you are at the eye of it because that's your challenge, right? So the moment you step three steps back, you will see the challenge to its real size, scale, and impact. So do that. And how do you step back? Take a breather and step out of your space. And I mean that literally. Like, for example, if you're going a family member or somebody is infected and you're going through a health crisis, you're stuck in a hospital for a long time. Just step out of that hospital room, go into that garden or the lawns in the hospital or just the outside space, parking space, and just stand there for 2 minutes away from everything. If you are the one sick, if you are quarantined, if you are there, just close your eyes and shut yourself from everything. The first thing is step out, three steps back. Second thing, and I've been saying this for everyone, you take anything and take it closer to your eye, it's going to look big. The moment you take it far, it's going to look small. So the moment you step three steps back, then look at your challenge from an outside perspective, not like it's happening to you. Very quickly, if your business due to COVID is going down the by its nose and you do not have revenues, you do not have runway to survive, like you cannot pay today's 10, you cannot pay salaries. If that's the case, just step back and look at it from an outside perspective and say, okay, this company has this many clients, this much of revenue, this many team members, this much salary needs to be given, this much money in hand. What do we do? The moment you look at it from an other's perspective, you will know a solution at any cost. And the last tool, my grandmother would tell me this, and I still follow it. It's a story of a king with seven sons, and he gave he gave a bunch of sticks to each one of the sons and said, "Break it." And the sons couldn't break it. But then he took the bunches from them and gave each son one stick and said, "Break it now." And the sons were able to break it. And the king said to the sons that anytime you face problems, don't club all your problems together and try to solve it. Take one problem at a time and solve it and then touch the other problem. Even today, I follow that. And I request you to do that. There's always, वो बोलते हैं ना, भगवान जब भी देता है छप्पर फाड़ के देता है. So you will have multiple problems. Just take it, company, health, family, financial, anything. Just take one step at a time. Step back, quickly analyze from an outside perspective, then take one problem at a time and solve it.
So true. I think that's the crux of the entire conversation. Own your glass ceilings, own your situations, and make sure that you break those whatever is required to be broken, and mend those which you want to keep, and respect those which you do not want to let go of. Right, I think that has to be the last line of this conversation. And with this, we are coming to the end of this amazing, exciting, explosive conversation with the Salma Musa of all of us. I belovedly call her Sal. So thank you, Sal, so much for this beautiful conversation. And my deepest gratitude to you for coming and sharing so openly with me as well as my viewers about your entire life, your challenges, what and all working for you and not working for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Sal.
Thank you for having me here. And as we say, if I've kind of crossed over the time limits, I'm sorry for that. But I have no regrets because I got to spend time with you, love, and with everyone. And thank you so much for your whole team for being patient with me. I know I kind of get a little difficult at times, but I love you guys for taking me in the whole package.
We love you too, Sal, and we love you the way you are. Never change yourself. You're
Thank
perfect the way you are. I think I like that. I like that imperfect perfection in you.
Yep. Just a few kilos less. I'm still working on it.
That's up to you.
Yeah.
That's yours to break.
I know. My glass ceiling to break. Perfect. Thank you so much, love.
What a brilliant conversation that we had with Salma. This was probably one of the longest episodes that I have had with any guest so far. And so many interesting insights came out. My favorite is own your challenges, own your glass ceilings. Only when you own it yourself, only then you know which one to break, which one to let go, and which one to tend or respect. What was your learning from today's show? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you get to know all the upcoming episodes and all the updates that are coming around. See you in the next episode.